right, we're at it.
He's so cute.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back. For those of you who have been following this campaign, welcome back to what is now known as Tenements of the Great Rift. Crits and Giggles, flagship, inaugural, whatever we want to call it, campaign. And we are in the thick of it. This is session, what did we say, 23?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And some stuff's been happening. So I'm gonna at least start the recap, but then we'll just kind of go right into you guys sort of chipping into the recap with whatever you would like, because we're really at a juncture in this campaign where there are just so many directions that you could go next, that it's important for me as the DM to just take in what you guys are latching onto, and not try to, like force feed anything or what's called railroad you guys into going one direction versus another. So I want to try to have as little artificial influence on your guys' decision making as possible. So I'm gonna ask for a little help on the recap from you guys. But we basically start out with the easy part is when you're back in town, back in Red Larch, talking with the constable about this prisoner you have, Jolliver Grimjaw, and trying to get information from him about at least his cult, the cult of the Crashing Wave, if not others, and any information you can get about that whole elemental cult situation. And we entered last session with someone announcing to you, and from what you can tell everyone in the town, because all of you heard this as if the person was standing right next to you, that you possessed an asset valuable to whoever this was, and that punishment should be issued. And then an explosion turns into this torrential storm that we are now in. And you guys basically go into, led by the elves that are accompanying the constable, you go into a pretty intense but quick skirmish with this really gross looking barnacly watery dude who referred to himself as Gar, and some goonies. After seeing some of the abilities that these elves had and figuring out that they are very capable warriors and teaming up with them to handle this fight, a couple of references are made. Whirl may or may not be kind of pissed off. and we'll get to that if/when you want to get to that.
It's gonna be great.
And at the end of it, a couple of water elementals went from their sort of chaotic rampage into a very pointed effort to kill the prisoner and whoever else they could take with them. They tried, and they got Jolly for sure, and the constable's definitely hurt. And after all of that, we went into everybody gathering, since the constable's place is in shambles at this point from that event. You shifted everybody to the inn that you've been staying at and started a big sort of round table with everybody. The constable, now both dwarves, the Ironhelm brothers, Gimlin and Brulenthar, the four elves who have just recently, like right before the fight, I think, revealed their true names to you guys. And then we ended on the four of them also revealing, short version, that they are from the future, and that they've been sent here to help in some way. So that's where I'm going to leave my part of the recap and leave it up to you guys to, if we need to reiterate anything, clarify anything that's already been said, or, just add to that recap what you feel in and out of character is/should be important. And we'll just go from there.
You said that once Gar left, the elementals were like purely planning on killing as many things in that building. I don't think we knew that for sure. I just know that they like splashed through, and then like Jolly happened to be dead.
that's my sort of third person omniscient recap
Okay.
of it. But in like you would have
Okay.
known. Oh, you were in there. World. You
I
were
was in
there.
there.
Yeah. So you in character wouldn't have seen it. The others that were outside would have seen like the elementals' behavior changed from rampage everything around them to like Gar left and they just like about faced to the constable's place and beeline to smash into it.
Okay.
I forgot when the drow told us their names. Was Jolly conscious? I don't remember if we had knocked him out by that point yet or not.
Ooh. I think he was still conscious.
I think he was too.
I don't remember. So I
He was, because it was.
Because it was like after we heard the rumbling when we knocked him out, so he had to have still been conscious. Because we were getting frustrated mid-interrogation.
Oh, that's right. It was mid-interrogation, because you guys got back to this place of like, are we even sure we trust these guys again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
we've been
okay,
getting a lot of back and forth.
because before that you sent the constable a message saying, "We believe you've been compromised. Don't even trust the bodyguards." And yeah, so all that came to fruition after you guys started that. Okay, yep.
Great.
Because that's a point that I would end up bringing up. Is there so much happened last time that it's hard to think about like
There's a
Yeah.
lot to
Wait.
digest and work with here.
what else do we need to talk about? uh, we found out that all the that all the tunnels underneath the keeps are probably connected after the conversation we started to have at the end of last session.
Okay, so if that's where we want to
that's
start,
important.
we should definitely
Yeah.
start it in character because that's basically where we ended.
Cool.
So okay, if we do need to come
Yeah.
back to re-clarify anything, that's fine. I don't want you guys to feel like, well, you missed your opportunity. We can do that if it comes up. So the major points we sort of ended on were the elves revealing, like reiterating their names, and then they also added like how old they are and what year it was for them when they were sent here. And then right before
I think
that,
you said the year they were born, but not the year that they were sent here. Because I personally myself later did the math on when they were sent here.
you have that right. I flipped it. I was thinking
Okay,
about
okay.
the years that they were sent because we were talking about that. So correction, yes,
They were all sent here, different years.
yeah. So
Bonkers.
the year they were
Bonkers.
born, or how old they are, and the year they were born,
Right.
and then right before that, the dwarves made a reference to going deeper in the keeps. But there has been no follow up to that yet, so I would imagine that's part of what may or may not happen today.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose let's just like enter scene there then. What do you guys want to talk about? As I get my web of truths here.
Back into World's headspace. So wait, you're from the future.
Your future, we believe so, or at least one of them, and at that point they will all sort of start looking at each other in a similar way to the way they have before. Like they always kind of non-verbally address each other before doing anything in the past. They've always sort of had this non-verbal communication. And now, I'm not even going to make you guys roll for, perception or anything. It would be blatantly obvious that, like, they're starting to digest some more themselves. And they're looking at each other with this look of, like, does that sound right? Maybe we should reiterate. I'll reiterate the dates and years thing because that's kind of a lot to digest. So, Elrar was born in the year 2135 and is 357 years old. Uklapu is 302 years old and was born in the year 2080. Analu is 462 years old, was born in the year 1954. And Bonashu is 410 years old, born in 1902. And just as a reminder for anybody in the audience, the current year, well, they keep referring to the current era. That's just like a miscellaneous trait of the calendar system. The current year of the current era is 1492.
Something tells me the crashing wave has something to do with this more than we thought. If it's 1492. Okay. I'm relieving stress because I'm trying to process.
I mean,
We
and
have a
also-
lot to
next.
process.
Yeah.
God.
Also, my book is dated 1502.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's that too.
Did we know that?
Yes.
It's in the
Yes.
notes. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you guys all from the same future?
We did not know or know of each other in any way before arriving here, so that is not yet clear.
And you all were sent here by a winged creature named Paradun. What did he, other than the wings, what did he look like?
Two of them will pipe in and say they're not really sure. They were brought here in the midst of like a flash of light. So all they saw was feathered wings, a humanoid figure, and heard the voice basically before they were sent here.
So like that one episode of Supernatural where they're like, I saw an angel, and it was just like a weird
Yeah.
I
shadowy
vaguely remember that,
thing.
yeah.
Yep. But okay, so I don't want to overgeneralize and make you guys think I'm leaving stuff out. So that would have been Bonashu and Uklapu had basically that story. Didn't actually see him other than like the shadow because the light was in their face sort of thing. Elrar and Arlu will both have a vague description of a tall blue man with feathered wings like a white hippogriff, basically.
That reminds
Was-
me of that dude that dropped us off all the stuff when we were at Sacred Flame.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I was thinking.
That was shoot. Looking back at notes.
Our
Yep.
friend Scarlet
that
Moon
was
Visitor.
that was the secret Scarlet Moon. Yep, he said Gond sends his regards and gave us the shield and thunderbolt.
Clarification: it was the voice of Ironhead. I'm forgetting his
Yeah.
first
Oh,
name.
The blacksmith.
The blacksmith who mentioned Gond. It was definitely his voice, but then like the arrival was with this person who had a different voice when he spoke to you. Did he speak to you?
I
trying
don't think
to-
so.
Scarlet
don't-
Moon didn't.
Yeah,
He
I
just
don't think
dropped stuff off when we got the shopkeep's place.
Yeah. Okay, so I can see why that would have been confusing. When
Oh,
you heard
and
the voice,
he was green.
he's green. Yep.
He's kind of
yeah,
in that
he
middle
was
point between green and blue.
It
It
kind of
said-
depends on what that looks like to you, basically.
I wrote.
It's a
I
very-
have green written down.
It's a very sea foamy color.
If you go, Gert, if you go into your journal in roll 20, there is you should have a permanent entry called the Scarlet Moon Visitor that you can see. So that's probably where you got that
Okay.
description from. Yeah.
That's very green, y'all. that is very green.
As the art expert in the group,
Yeah, we're gonna trust your judgment on
not
that.
going to start arguing with that.
He is pretty green.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a Hulk right there. Oh goodness. Okay. So. Oh, and he did speak to us.
Did he?
He spoke to us and he said Osiris and
And Lathander.
Lathander send their regards.
No.
Ah, okay.
Oh, dip.
Yeah.
All right.
Right before he was slashed out of existence.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Just don't know what else to say to
I
this.
know. I love that we're like all just like
Just
So-
What do
yeah,
we address first?
right?
I think it's also an in-character thing. Like, Iz just doesn't know how to comprehend any of this. Like, she's still
Fair.
trying to wrap around the fact, the the book is not from this timeline, or maybe it's from a future timeline. That's still super weird to her. And then here's these people like from hundreds and thousands of years in the future. It's just
Yeah.
like, that's not real. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Stop playing.
I mean, here's a question. Do we know? Shoot. Have you all ever heard of Bigsby or
Oh.
Mordekainen?
Bigby or Mordenkainen?
Great question.
That's a
Good
very good
question.
question. One of many that I had not prepared for. 1 minute. So for those of you watching, whether you're watching live or whether you're listening or watching this on YouTube, I I straight up messaged the group earlier and said, I've prepared everything that I can without like straight up forgetting stuff or railroading them. So there's probably going to be several points in this conversation right now that I'm going to need to look stuff up, whether it's to clarify what I think I knew or to make it happen. So one quick minute. You're asking the elves specifically if they have
I'm-
heard of Bigby or
Mordenkainen.
Okay.
Should we ask the dwarves too, since they didn't we think the book was dwarvish?
The title was written in Dwarvish.
Okay, so
I mean, yeah, I guess I'm asking the room at hand.
okay, so all
Who's
four
ever
of the
heard of those
elves will generally say that they've heard the name and some amount of legend of Mordenkainen. He's an infamous and powerful wizard, among the most revered throughout history, so far as they know. Created many wide-ranging spells that are well known today, ranging from the more simple lower level, if you will, to very complex and higher level powerful spells, and wrote of history and his own claim of accounts in encountering unique creatures and beings across his lifetime. But none of them would have ever actually met him or heard of any first-hand experience of anybody meeting him that they know of. The dwarves are completely lost. They're like fumbling through their like piles of maps and notes, and like they got nothing when it comes to the names Bigby or Mordenkainen. Oh, and notably the elves, they have no reference to Bigby at all. It's a name they don't recognize.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Silly question about the elves. When we walked into the inn, did they look like elves or did they look like humans?
They looked like elves. They're in their elf
Okay.
form.
So everyone in the bar also saw us walk in with not only the constable and not only the 5 of us, but 4 dark elves.
Yes.
The elves are
Okay.
upstairs.
2 dark elves.
Yeah, but,
and
like, we still
we
walked
don't know
through
how
the
the other
place.
2.
Oh, you're right.
We
You're
don't
right.
know how the
Okay.
other 2 came in because
Fair.
they were
But at
already
least-
in the room with.
At least, like, cool. I bet that's why that chick was freaked out.
Yeah. that makes more sense now.
I'm gonna go try and talk to her.
That's Andrea. That is incredibly observant of you. That's exactly
you.
right.
I was like,
Now, I should add some clarification to that, at the risk of making you guys think even more, because I don't want you to necessarily think too much about things that might not matter so much at all. But I'll just reiterate the point that Red Larch major trade through. So, like, these people have seen all manner of people from all across this country and possibly others.
Right.
So, the dark elf rarity is like the point that would have made that sort of awe happen
cool.
because of how rare they are
Okay.
in this country. Yeah.
So, in the myths and the legends of Mordenkainen, is there any does anyone have a vague idea of where he was? Like where he was located generally? In the world?
One of the one who has been talking the most in all of your interactions together has been Elrar. And he's going to be the one that speaks up to that question. The only one that speaks up to that question. And he'll say, well, based on texts I've seen, if we assume that they are truly written by him as himself, it's almost impossible to pinpoint. Dare I say, he may have been what we would have called a planeswalker. That's the only explanation I could think of. And
Super dope.
I'm having difficulty parsing out how I want to do this. I'm gonna have everybody make a history. Is history and Arcana the same? Are they both intellect?
They're both intelligent.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody make a history check. Yep, I'm gonna go there. Taryn and Gert, there is going to be some amount that you know about planeswalk, like the theory of planeswalkers for sure, but depending on what your role is, you might know more. Just
Oof.
I got a
I don't know
12.
jack shit.
okay. Is 15, Gert 5, Cal 15, Taryn 12.
We're all happy
Will
to be
4.
here.
Exactly.
We're just like, okay.
I'm
we
still
gotta-
in
we
my
gotta
own
live
brain.
and do
I'm still going
Well,
over
what's
the
going
time
on?
jump sheet right now.
Okay.
Finishing my third beer.
So is Cal that's actually like exactly the level that I would say Taryn and Gert just knew by default. So for the four of you at least, planeswalker is a term that you may have heard before, that references incredibly powerful and naturally gifted, like not achievable by means of study or manipulation or anything like that, magical beings who have a very unique life essence called a spark, different from just mortally living on the material plane that like you guys have. Like they have a life essence called a spark, and by some means or another actually have the ability to travel between the various planes of existence. Be that the hells, the material plane, the inner circle, which contains like the abyss and a whole bunch of other ones. Like it takes a lot of concentration and focus and work for them, but it's doable by much more normal means for them than it would be for pretty much anybody other than like deities.
That's sick.
Bonkers.
So much to unpack.
Yeah,
Hold
you
on.
guys want to talk
There's-
lore dump session? Here we go.
I have
I have
couple-
so many thoughts.
This also
I have
feels
a
like
couple-
cheating for the other campaign that Joe and I are in.
Uh-oh.
A little bit. No, it's okay. It's bound to happen.
Well, I will say I'm like all the stuff that's happening right now with us is like 90% or more stuff that Magic wrote. Okay, so like it's based on
Which is
D&D
great.
lore, but don't be safe and don't assume that everything I say here also applies to every other D&D campaign you ever play in. Okay, I'm taking some
absolutely.
liberties. Yeah.
I love it. This is wonderful.
Taryn is going to, after processing for a second, he's going to say, looking at the elves, do any of you remember what your lives were like before you were sent here?
When we arrived, all four of us can recount seeing each other first, just outside the town, that direction, in the trees. We asked that question after much discussion among ourselves about what had just happened. And on all accounts, and as he says, on all accounts, he's going to sort of look to the other three for confirmation. And he'll continue. Largely prosperous, happy, of our own businesses, but we were sent here in the midst of danger and chaos. It seems that we each have our own sort of sub-story among that. And then the other three will give that non-verbal confirmation, a sort of nod.
Before we get into those, are there any pieces of memory that feel like they're missing? Not objects or places, but pieces of your own memory.
Say that again?
I said, are there pieces of your own memory, not places or things, but like for their own memories that are missing?
Oh, missing.
Missing, like they feel like they've been erased or just blocked out.
We've discussed that at length as well over the past year, and so far as any of us can tell, none of our memory is missing, but there seem to be at least two anomalies. The first is that we can remember and recall in our individual histories similar events, but with varying degrees of detail. Or not varying degrees, varying details. And her. All four of them look at Gert.
Oh!
Quick question on similar events. Similar events to now, or similar events in your own lives?
Similar events in their own lives, like across their
Okay.
300 to 500
Cool.
years of existence, like major events in history. Yeah.
Okay.
And as they're,
Now I'm gonna look at Gert.
hey Gert, are you uncomfortable?
So wait, they all
They all know you
I d-
from their own history.
Excuse me?
And they'll
Okay.
actually he'll actually continue and actually start turning the questions to you. You say your name is Gert.
Why is this the best ever?
You're from a small town near what you call, and he's actually going to look down at one of the maps that the dwarves have out and say, Silvery Moon. Many think you burned it down, but you did not.
Yep. Yeah.
I remember a 12-year-old child. And then he looks to his left, and the next one says, I remember a baby. And the next one says, I remember a 60-year-old woman. And the fourth one says, I remember your mother still pregnant and your birth. But the name was always Gert. And it was always whatever you are.
I. How? Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah. I.
Do you know what her mother looked like?
That I need to look up. They do.
I don't think I ever. I was gonna say I don't think I ever told you what my mother looked like.
Okay, do you want me to make it up now, or do you want to establish what it was? What she was?
You can make. I mean, she was just human.
Okay.
Like they were both non anything human, and it was just sort of a gene that was passed down through a bunch of ancestors. So
Sick.
Recessive gene.
yeah, right.
Okay. Yep. The one who had said he remembered a 60-year-old woman would say your mother had passed long before I had seen you for the first time. The others would say they remember, to varying degrees of detail, a tall, slender, magically gifted brunette woman who basically stayed in her small town, kind of kept to herself and her children. On all accounts, it doesn't really sound like, other than her magical gifts, which is really not all that strange in this world or theirs, which is just, similar world, different point in time. Nothing really outstanding about this person.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember something. Yeah. So that was, yep. Um, so the one who knew me when I was 12.
Okay.
My mother was still alive.
Looking.
I need more blankets. I'm not prepared for this.
Because that's when it all went down.
Where is?
So yeah, maybe my question is more: did you know me before or after my village was destroyed?
Oh, okay. Of course, it's the very last thing on the page, and then and I went from top to bottom like a real person. Yeah, he would say it was just before. Yes, she was alive.
So, if anything else, I think we need to take away that Gert needs to be protected at all costs.
Absolutely.
So I'm aware of this, or so that I can like figure this out. So what happened is that before this person or this creature brought you here, they brought you to see me at some point in history.
No. For all four of us, the point that we were sent here is the first and only point that we had seen that creature, that person, this Caradun. Seeing or knowing you was, at least as far as we know, a natural part of our life until that point.
That's really bonkers.
But I'm only 20-something years old.
No.
This is so wacky.
I'm not from the future. Am I?
Am I from the future?
But like, if I am, is my mom still alive now? And then it got burned later, but then I was 12, but how?
Gert ages like Merlin, and we just haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
I mean, she might.
I got the bend buttons.
The bend buttons.
And to the elves again, you know for sure that the woman giving birth was Gert's mother, not Gert.
Yes. We have the utmost of confidence in that.
This is very strange because if they remember you when you were younger, why do you not remember them?
Yeah.
And they were all. You, pointing to the drow again, are all from the future. You saw somebody even further in the past than where you are now. You would have had to have made an elliptical through the timeline
Yeah.
to come back to where we are now.
That's why I asked
Which-
if the guy took him back. I mean, the only one that I would have remembered would be, was it Elroy that saw me when I was 12? Or I forget which one.
Yes. Elroy would have been the one to remember you as approximately that age. Do you mention dark elves in your backstory at all? I
No.
don't think so.
I don't think you knew
Yeah,
what one was.
I was thinking
No,
like,
I
hey,
did not.
I was thinking like, did drow burn
Like,
your village?
No,
That's-
it's,
So I'm gonna
I
say
never-
I'm gonna say for the sake of this already has all sorts of dimensionality to it. So for the sake
Yeah.
of eliminating one,
yeah.
we're gonna say no. You don't remember ever. You've never encountered a drow before. You've encountered elves, but you know what dark elves like. They're from a certain place, and you've never experienced one before
Yeah.
until these four.
Yeah. Yeah,
While you're thinking about that, out of
Yeah.
character, Ash,
Yo.
did you tell these guys about? I know you told the party, so that's why I'm okay asking. Did you tell these guys outside of your party about the experience you had in Sacred Stone?
Oh, I don't know that I did.
Okay. But the party, did you tell them about the experience you had with the altar on your way back to Red Larch?
yeah.
Iz was there. She just didn't. We just kept her from doing a lot.
No, I think that the altar, which was the one with the giant eye, not the
Yeah.
Oh.
wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Which
Sorry, I wasn't
altar?
very
There's
clear
been
about
a couple altars.
Yeah.
that. Yeah, sorry,
There's the
my
wedding
Many
fault.
altar,
altars
and then
in
there's
this
the
game.
like eyeball altar.
My fault for not being specific enough. The altar with
Many
the
much
eye
altar. Okay.
that attacked you on the way here, and the two wraiths that attacked you on the way here.
Yeah, we told them
We've
about that.
been, yeah, because we've been talking about the words.
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
we would have had to have been.
Okay, so me knowing that now, thanks to your help, the one of the other elves, Honolulu, will sort of catch the spinning wheels and interject with another question. You mentioned a vial at that altar in the middle of nowhere that shattered.
Right.
Did it have a shimmering bluish hue liquid?
I don't think any of us got what
It
it,
did.
looks like.
I think
we,
it
Do we
did.
know
It
that for
did.
sure that it was shimmering blue?
Yeah.
At
It
least
did
one
the-
person did.
It
Yeah.
did the Thunderdome
Yeah.
thing, and it was a blue Thunderdome.
Yeah.
That was a purple thunderdome. We're all getting very mixed up with our colors.
What even are colors?
I'm blue, in case that's unclear. Also, apparently, Taryn is blue because he's changing colors again.
Yeah, I want to be a part of the cool kids club now.
Like it.
I'm blue.
I was outside of a room, I came back inside a room, and then suddenly he's a new color. Not freaking her out or anything.
Oh man.
Every time Whirl leaves the room, Taryn changes colors.
One of these days, you're
Just
gonna be green, I'm
a
just gonna be
mess
like, come on!
So he's gonna continue and and recall, like you can tell his wheels are spinning too, and he'll say, "He shattered one at my feet and touched a cube just before I was sent here."
Like the winged guy?
Ooh, yeah.
Yes. And then they'll do the like around the room thing again, and all three of the others will nod in confirmation that that's exactly what happened with them.
Okay.
So it shattered and you were moved.
That cube, what was that? All four of them will get into a brief conclusion that none of them would know.
Can
What
you
did it look
describe
like?
what the... Yeah, thank you.
I got you. She talks fast with short words.
I only caught a brief glimpse as he sent me, but it was a small cube, roughly the size of his palm, slightly smaller. And he simply pressed his thumb on one side as he shattered the vial. And I was gone. It did have runes on each side, though I did not recognize what they meant.
Can you recreate the rooms?
I can recreate one.
Yeah.
Find a spare piece of paper for him to write a rune on. See what happens.
Get a photo, y'all.
Man with white feathered wings, dash, splash, blue goop, and press button.
Okay, I'm gonna make myself a note to get you that image, because, and I'll do that like after this session because, I don't have them offhand, and apparently they're going to be a little bit more difficult to find than I thought. So maybe I'll just make my own. But
Do it.
based on history checks that I remember Gert and Taryn have done in the past, as well as your histories that were accompanied with them, I'm going to say that at least you two would recognize the symbol as representative of the material plane of existence.
What?
We're gonna be jumping around, motherfucker.
I think we found the rift. Oh my gosh, this is epic. I'll say as he finishes writing that down, that is a rune that represents the material plane. And I don't know what it means.
Taryn,
Yes.
I'm going to chalk this up as the player not remembering. So I will give you.
I'm turning a lot of.
You remember a
comments.
message from one Imdar that had you very confused not too long ago.
Yes.
Do you remember what those words were?
I probably wrote them down. Let me find them.
Oh, when was that?
Yeah, when was that?
I want to say like your second time in Red Larch.
Oh, it's a while
Oh, was
ago.
it the time that, like, was it the time that you guys were talking to him and he was like making zero sense, or was it the first time we talked to him?
That's what I'm thinking
The
about.
time that he looked like he was
because-
possessed for a moment and just like
Yeah.
uttered this
Yeah.
message.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have it somewhere. I know I do have it.
It was episode 10. Nope.
I'm looking.
So,
Mages.
bird people ritual door rune are the words that he said. The influence of tempest is sometimes forward.
Thank you for writing that down.
Thank
because,
you.
my God.
Yeah, I got none of that anywhere.
And Tempest is the god that he is devoted to.
Yeah.
He's a god of war.
Yes.
Yeah. So, bird people ritual door rune.
Rich bird people.
Bird people.
Bird people do a ritual and make a door with a rune.
have a
That's
theory.
where I'm going. That's
No,
where
no,
I'm
no, no,
getting
no. So-
from it.
But like, remember what we saw? Like, there were bird people there. They did a ritual, and then two air friends showed up.
The bird people fought against the air.
No, I mean like they summoned two air elementals.
They did do
So
that.
they did a ritual. They summoned air elementals maybe through like a door, and they maybe used runes to do it.
They did have staffs, and I don't think we got a good look at those.
No, and we didn't really get a look or any information on the like statue dude.
Right.
Yancy Bin.
You did get a good enough look to know who that was.
Right, but we don't
Yeah,
know
we
anything
got-
about him other than his name and what he looks like.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Like no
that's
one's
true.
been like, oh yeah, this is this dude, and here's all of his history, and here's all the things. Door room.
So,
To help you guys out, the players, like DM
Yeah.
the players a little bit. I'm hoping to not make you guys feel like there's some big thing to figure out right here and now. I don't like this is so much information and lore getting dumped and thrown around all at the same time.
Yeah.
Like some of this might take several sessions to digest, let alone figure out how it's relative, if it's relative, that sort of thing. So I would encourage you to not think that there's a thing I have to figure out right now. It's just all part of the story in some capacity at some point.
Yeah.
So you say that.
Again,
Say
yeah,
that,
I
and
would,
then
I
we're
would
gonna figure out
love,
something real big
Yeah.
right now.
I would love to figure out how the fuck they know me.
Right?
In no time, dear.
Yeah, I mean, I know I can. It's easier for me to say that than it is to
Yeah.
be on the other side and just accept that. But I did want
Yeah.
to at least put it on the table that it's not like, okay, we're stuck here until you figure it out. That's not the
Right.
case.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the best idea that I have is bird people do a ritual with a rune that makes a door.
But like,
I mean, they're from a different plane, right? Aren't they from like the air plane?
but
I mean,
the
so-
thing is, I'm actually wondering if this was fully in reference to these guys and this
Oh.
situation, because the person that sent them here was a blue creature
Bird
with-
person.
yeah,
The-
exactly.
The last time we saw
Yeah.
one of them was
And, like-
when a god was intervening with.
And it
Yeah.
seemed as though when this happened, he kind of went blank face as though he was seeing something.
Hmm.
And then the ground shook and he immediately forgot all of it.
And a clarification for Whirl as well. We did establish that you guys know like the Aarakocra are not from a different plane.
Oh,
but
I thought
that-
they were. My bad.
But when they summon an air elemental, blah, 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 I forget who gleaned this, but somebody did have general knowledge that that type of ritual and summoning that creature means they basically transported it from another plane to here.
Right.
So the elemental itself is definitely from another plane, but the Aarakocra are not.
Okay. I thought the Aarakocra also were, but never mind.
They did say that they were. Did they worship or were they the Dukes of Akaw?
So far back.
That is pretty far back.
Yeah.
And
Let me
right
see if I
notes,
have it in
man.
mind.
Because I have Dukes of Akaw down, but I don't remember if they serve or if they were.
We serve the Dukes.
So,
Yes. Okay.
and then we asked the Drow, and they didn't know anything about that.
Fair.
Right. Anybody need a refill yet?
My God.
I think Gert just needs to go bed. I think Gert is just like mentally and physically exhausted from this shit show of a day. And she like Gert is shut down. Gert is like not processing anything else right now.
Yeah, we're all here's that.
So,
God.
uh,
Do we need
So-
like a group hug real quick? Just
Right?
try and ground and
I
center
slap my
ourselves.
homie on the
Yeah.
shoulder
I'll like
and cast
shimmy myself
mending.
in and like hug. It's a very light hug. I can't do anything else.
aw.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, Taryn, go ahead.
What was I gonna say? Do we want to figure out where we're going to go tomorrow before we head to bed, or are we just gonna see what happens? Because I don't think we should stay here for a while.
I think maybe we should figure it out in the morning. Once we've all thought about some stuff for a second.
I believe these two might have a little more information, and he's gonna like nod at them, and they'll get right back at him as he's saying they'll have a little more information about this deeper in the keeps that you're talking about.
Let's speak in the morning.
Good.
May I ask just one other pressing matter? Obviously, our immediate opponents are defeated, but this storm, will it continue to ravage on? Are the townspeople safe? Are we safe? For the time being, at least?
As you say that, like one of the larger crashes of thunder that you've heard so far booms, and you have noticed that the storm has continued to sustain or increase in its severity as you've gone. And the four elves will stand up and say, "It's as if we'd never left. We'll do our best to mitigate it, but it'll last at least another 10 to 12 hours.
So things like this were going on in your time before you left.
In the case of which one are you? In the case of Honolulu, this was an opening event.
An opening event.
Okay.
Several of water, several of fire. Yes.
If this is an opening event, I'm not looking forward to the closer.
I think we'll make it a better grand finale.
if you'd like to reconvene tomorrow, we can save more detail of our histories for then. But, yes, if you are interested in hearing of more, none of us have any idea how much it may or may not help, but this type of event seemed to lead toward a very violent end.
Well, as long as the town is safe for the time being, I'm satisfied.
We will do our best. But at least we've experienced this before.
Let's do our best to not let it happen again. I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
Okay, so let's pause there for a minute. Restroom slash drink slash let the headache process happen.
God.
Yeah, we'll be right back. And we're back. All right, we're still digesting and processing all of the information that's been getting thrown around already, and there's more to come in the in-game tomorrow. You guys said you wanted to go for the rest for now. Are you pretty much just like going to your room or rooms and hitting the hay, or are you having any within the group conversations before you start doing that?
Nope. Gert goes to her bed and falls face first down and passes out.
Okay. Okay. Then if that's the case, you can go ahead and make the long rest happen with your character sheets. For those of you who haven't already, that does include the level up to 8. Excuse me. And we are on our way out to the moon with for anybody who's tuning in and may not have caught this at the beginning of the campaign, I did make it clear that this campaign is intended to go all the way to level 20. So we're in a long haul.
So yeah, I wanted to do a little bit of table talk because of my level up and my feat, which is linguist. So because I get the 3 languages, I was thinking about getting something to talk to the elves with, like directly. What do the elves speak besides common?
DM, can we
Yeah.
use meta knowledge or
Of
or would you rather
elves
us ask?
or
Yeah,
you're
this
asking
is
about the
table
elves
talk, by
specifically?
the way. Like this is out
Yeah.
of character.
Yeah,
So,
that's fine.
Yeah.
I told you I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
You're doing something. It's not like you're trying to power game or min max. Like, what's the best way to, that sort of thing. You're trying to be efficient in a narratively meaningful way. So I'm totally cool with it. Generally, elves know Elvish Common, sometimes Celestial, because elves have more historically based, immediately historically based roots with gods. And then, actually, let me look at
Drow, no undercommon.
Drow know Undercommon. Sometimes other elves know Undercommon, depending on how closely they relate to the Drow or how closely they reside to the Underdark. I'm going to look at actually an elf character of mine from not too long ago. And he knows Draconic as well. That was... So I think if I'm not mistaken, like elves, when you build them, just have like pick a language.
Yeah.
So let's say as a starting point, Elvish for sure, Common for sure. In the cases of these four, Undercommon as well. And we'll say Abyssal.
Okay.
So
So
I can speak
Oh, yeah.
Abyssal if we really need that.
yeah, and I didn't know if having a language that, if understanding them in, how do I want to say this, understanding stuff that they are saying without them necessarily knowing that I know the language.
Okay.
Sure.
So-
Like covertly knowing Undercommon.
Yes, so that like it's
So
one
that
of
if they
the
talk to
things
each other
that-
in their language, we know it.
exactly.
Yeah.
If they talk to each other in their language, I can understand and they're not keeping secrets from us.
If you want to save a slot, I know Undercommon. If you want to take
Perfect.
it, then you're more than welcome to. But Iz
But
knows Undercommon.
if you know Undercommon, then I can take Elvish.
Cool.
So there's Elvish.
I think you should do Dwarvish because we keep running into dwarf
Oh, that's
stuff.
very good.
Yeah.
And
That's a
then
good point.
I have a third. Yeah, no, like Dwarvish was definitely number 2 on my list. And yeah, and then I have the third, but
You already know Primordial. Somebody knows Primordial, right?
I do. I think. Or is mine? Yeah, I know Primordial.
Okay.
sorry, hold on.
Man, what a cool language.
It's so
Loading
it's,
up.
so- it's so good. I love Primordial. It's never used, but it's such a cool language.
But when it is,
When it is,
dope.
it's awesome.
very
Okay,
excited
so we're
for it.
gonna
Hopefully in
go
the
with So we're
Look
gonna
up the
go-
languages because
there's a lot of them.
Elvish. Yeah, no, I'm looking through them now. So we said Elvish, Dwarvish, and okay, so I've got
then
Abyssal.
I know both Infernal and Abyssal.
Okay,
Just so you know.
De color. Delker.
What?
Daelkyr.
Sure.
Dalkir, I think that's probably like an expansion language.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like
Deep speech, draconic, giant, girth, gnomish, goblin.
What?
I feel like
Oh,
deep
no,
speech
it's
might be
Gith.
good.
It's Gith. It's
Gith.
Gith. Gith.
Oh,
yeah, I
Gith.
speak Girth too, am I right? We're all totally
must say I'm
speak
quite the
Gonna-
linguist
Friendly
in
reminder
Girth.
that this is an
We're
18 plus channel.
We're gonna blame that on my dyslexia. That's what we're gonna call that.
I think that was a Freudian slip. I don't know what you're talking about.
So okay,
Oh my God.
Gith, gnomish, goblin, halfling, infernal, crawl, Kraul.
That's another.
Are these all the languages you know, or are these
No,
the options?
These are
Those
the
are-
options.
Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
She knows
Um,
all of
It's
them.
just
Right.
whatever I say, you know it, Gert.
yeah. So Lenin, Loxodon.
Loxodon, those are elephant people.
And
Um,
then Leonin are
do
lion
it.
people.
Okay. Marquesian.
There's a-
I'm lost on that one.
Minotaur.
That's from Explorer's Guide to Wildmount.
Oh,
That
okay.
makes sense. I was like, I've
There's,
heard it. I don't know
There's
why.
also a language, a dwarvish sub-dialect called Terran.
Oh, geez.
Oh my god. Very good.
There's Nosh, Naush.
Alright.
Orc, Primordial,
I know Orc.
Ori,
No Primordial.
Radian, Reidran, Reidran.
Lost.
So I will say, since we're table talking anyway, because of how abstract languages can be, the if there was ever a campaign that Primordial might be relevant, this is probably it. Primordial is like
Hell yeah.
language of the elemental chaos. Sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might actually get to speak a second language.
And there's like nothing wrong with multiple party members knowing
Absolutely.
knowing
Okay.
primordial.
Sure.
Because at the
So-
end, you know, depending on what's said and to who and in what setting, like,
Yeah.
who's to say that anything Gert hears she'll just freely share with the entire party? We don't know.
I mean, it's Gert.
Yeah.
Gert,
But the same point
Gert's
applies to
pretty-
everybody else too. Like
Yeah.
if there was some super deep dark secret that could split the party apart and like you lose D&D, like
Rhyme.
You lose D&D. Oh my
That's
god.
funny. Tell me another
somebody
one.
might want to keep it to themselves. You never know.
Okay,
I mean, deep
so,
speech is at least another one I've heard of before.
Oh yeah,
I
that's a
think
cool one.
deep speech is like super undercommon.
okay.
I mean, we're literally talking about demons and devils,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The elemental chaos is like the ice cream and the ice cream sandwich between like outer planes and the material plane. It's where it all just kind of melts together.
Yeah.
So not quite demons and devils for
Okay, so what are demons and devils?
But the same major category as the demons.
Right.
So the abyss and the elemental planes all exist right next to each other.
So yeah, so I guess what would make the most sense to be my third language? Primordial, what was the other one?
Deep speech was the other one.
Well, I was
that I was
thinking
thinking of.
primordial, deep speech, or infernal.
So if you did primordial, we could basically do a thing where, like Whirl and I and you and Iz and then Kel somewhere in the mix there, we could split off into two different areas. So then each person or each team has a person that speaks primordial.
Okay.
If you took infernal, you and I would both speak it, but we're both clerics. So I mean, that would also be the same thing of like we could split off into two different teams and have people speaking infernal.
I just want to point out something that I really enjoy about this party too is that Taryn, you just mentioned a sandwich. I'm looking at this party and I see two clerics, one of devilish lineage and one of the angel variety.
So cool.
It's like this is a cool party, and,
Both
and
were,
the
both were
Dragonborn
born
and
from-
the shit. What it the Genasi?
Ismar?
That's
The
it.
genie
Oh,
was
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
the genie spawn? Yeah, I know
Genie
what's up.
spawn and then a changeling, like literally be what I want.
what's up.
Like
I
yeah,
always
this,
forget about that.
this
Hold on,
party
Sorry.
is really fucking cool, guys.
Hold on, are Grid and I yin and yang? Were we like?
Yeah.
Because we just like
Hardcore.
we're both born from human parents.
You match the symbol of our campaign or of Crits and Giggles, which is a yin and yang
because we
D20.
yin and yang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
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 I mean, it's
Pretty
I couldn't have put it together myself any better.
Yeah.
It's so good. Anywho, sorry, I'm
High
going
five,
way off
guys.
course.
High five, guys.
Cool. So, what did we decide?
We haven't yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
We're just talking about how cool it would be if any of those things happened.
I'm gonna leave my input into this to a minimum, but I would say deep speech. Like I don't want you to burn something. I don't think it's gonna be relevant in this
Okay.
campaign. Yeah.
cool. So yeah, primordial or infernal, which do you guys think is going to be more helpful?
Probably primordial.
Probably primordial.
Yeah, primordial.
Primordial?
Yeah. Man, I thought
Alright.
I was special.
Now we'll be special
Well,
together.
Well, now
Yay.
it's
Like you
team
taught her.
specialness.
Yeah.
And then it's they were there.
Yeah.
That's the explanation.
Yeah, I
You're
taught
a
her.
quick learner and learned primordial. in
And I
8
taught you
hours.
primordial. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I taught you primordial.
It's very good.
Love it. All right, there we go.
Now, how do we explain the cipher, the whole cipher thing?
She's been paying too much attention to that book, and she just figured it out. It like mind
Right.
numbed
Yeah.
her.
That's the cipher. The cipher is the same enchantment that was on the book, where you have to concentrate really hard. And that's it.
Sure.
We can make a blanket statement. I'm just gonna be honest with you and say I don't want to like give a botchy divine intervention, but we can absolutely say that there is a divine element to your character, obviously, and to your upbringing through your increases in strength and devotion and virtue and all that jazz. So, put all that together, and it would be totally reasonable to say in this world that, like, you've been given another gift. So this gift of understanding a cipher and then being able to use it to your whim is part of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also a really cool flavor, just to be like, here's
It
a
is.
quick enchantment, and you can't read that now.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like it. Okay. Thanks, guys. Sorry if that took longer than it should have.
No, it's,
All good.
it's all good. That's super fun to talk about.
Okay. So now I know a bunch of other languages. That's exciting.
Just stare deep into the book, and the book talks
Just-
back, and it's just like, here you go,
Right.
slam, osmosis.
Yep.
Have another language.
You're the
Boom.
only one who spends time with me. I will teach you my secrets.
Oh my goodness.
We
Cool.
hate this game so much. We
Yeah, source.
can't wait for it to be over every week.
And we definitely do not count down the days and hours and minutes to the next session.
Yeah,
Nope,
at all.
not at all.
Not even
Never.
close.
Know what you're
Cool.
talking about.
I told Joe today though, I might have to turn off notifications during the day because I have a watch that tells me every time something happens.
So
It's just
that's
ring,
actually
ring, ring,
why
ring.
I made that off-topic channel. I was realizing like, we might piss people off. So you can actually go into the any individual text channel and
Yeah.
turn off notifications for that channel and leave the rest on. And then
You can like mute it indefinitely, or be like, I don't
Yeah.
want to see this for the next 4 hours. And
Yeah,
then
Joe,
Yeah.
Joe mentioned that today because I just didn't know how to do that. So
Yeah.
I've just been, like, looking
also
out.
sorry I didn't
Oh.
make the off-topic thing available earlier.
Nerding out,
We're
man.
just rambling
Nerd out.
on all day about stuff.
We're just excited all the time.
Yes. Okay, so long rest has happened. Are we settled on all the updates for
Yes.
level 8 for everybody then too? Okay, so you're at the next day, and going to rest for the evening. You would have known that the elves and constable were also staying in the inn. You're all basically the group of you and the dwarves are occupying a full level of this inn. Between the 11, 12 of you?
5, 6,
6,
One.
4, 10,
12 of us.
12, yeah.
12. Yep. So
13.
that's a full level.
13 because the constable.
Okay. Yeah. So you're all within close proximity, and then when you want to come out and reconvene, we don't need to overcomplicate that.
Where's the constable's wife, and why didn't she come and sleep?
Oh,
We
yeah.
just left his family.
I don't know why that
Sorry,
just
bud.
popped into my brain, but I was
an
just like,
entire conversation. about
I would be
It's out
really
there at
sad.
the moment.
I would
Wow.
be really sad if a giant scary thing happened, and all of a sudden my husband was just gone.
He's in the the best suite of our inn with 10 other strangers. It was 11. I'm sorry. Oh my god.
Terrible. Terrible.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I think we're. Do we need food? Should I go down and get food?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good food.
All right, I'm gonna wander down stairs.
Don't be so excited, guys.
No, here's the thing.
You're sad.
I have
Sad first breakfast.
I have some thoughts and feelings, and I'm gonna go talk it out with some people. I'm gonna walk downstairs.
Don't talk too loud.
Okay.
I won't. That's thoughts. We're gonna be fine.
You guys want some food? Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh man. I'm sorry. Go. Go
I'm
ahead.
walking. I'll go down to the main pub area and just see what's going on now. What it looks like.
Okay. So, actually, by the time morning comes and you wake, you notice the tail end of the storm outside shrinking, like physically shrinking to a point almost directly over the inn, and then gone.
But before it, can I go outside and walk like 10 feet away from the inn?
You can.
Does it follow me?
It does not.
Okay, I'll go back inside. Shake everything off now that I'm wet outside.
Well, when you go outside, you would easily notice at least one of the elves standing sort of just north of the intersection, just outside the hotel, the inn, not hotel, with his hands raised up to the air in like a sort of short chant. He's not really hiding it at all.
Yeah.
And he's focused on this sort of central point that the storm shrinks to.
What you doing?
If you ask that while he's chanting, he will maintain
Fine.
his focus.
Then I will just wait till he's done.
When he finishes, he's going to bring his hands down and sort of like close his eyes, take a deep breath, exhale out of his nose. It seems we were able to pull that off.
Can you elaborate with what you were doing? And if you could show us how to do that in case this happens in the future?
You would recognize this guy as Analu of the Four.
I'm just literally writing just the first letter of all their names, so I don't have to. It's I, U, O, and B.
Yup.
Bob.
It should be E, U, O, and B. Elrar.
And E. Well, that's changed. That's cool.
Okay. And he would say, we decided to attempt a sort of conglomerate, dispel magic, for lack of a better description. And between the four of us, it looks like it's worked. And by that point, you'd see the other three sort of walking up from different directions toward you guys.
Tight. That is good information to have. Would it only work at the tail end of an orb, or do you think there's a chance we as a group could catch one earlier on?
Well, that's a very good question. We simply theorized that if we focused on or at least near the point of detonation and concentrated long enough with enough fortitude between each of us, we could make it happen over a short period of time. So in theory, based on this one instance, sure, probably.
Cool. That is good information for my everyday life.
Yes, I will
Nothing to see here.
continue to
Do you guys
dispel
want
orbs.
breakfast? I'm gonna bring us all up some breakfast. Do you eat? I don't know how drow work.
How do you function?
How do?
Do you have
She's
gears
seen
and
a lot
cogs?
of things, but she just does not pay attention to any of them.
They all look physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted, and each of them, food would be fantastic.
Great. I'm gonna high five on Alu, the O guy, and be like, hey, thanks for the information. Just in case I'm giving him a bardic inspiration.
Yeah.
Don't know
awesome.
why. Probably not necessary, but I've I've got extras to burn now, so let's do it.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna go inside and talk to the bar staff and get us some food.
Okay.
Do I see the chick that was like freaked out by us?
Yes.
Okay.
And actually, as you're going in, quickly after the storm sort of dispels, you would see people coming out of some of the immediate vicinity buildings and like looking up, like, huh, that was wild, and then like sort of checking out the outside of their buildings and cleaning up debris from buildings and trees and the road and everything. And just starting to sort of come back to life pretty quickly after the storm gets squelched. I like that word.
How like rough or wet or washed out does the general terrain and roads look?
Very.
Right.
It is like just shy of flash flood territory. There are standing puddles everywhere. The roads are a mess. It would be clear to see like it would be dangerous for animal drawn carts to travel like right now. It would need some time to drain, dry up, what have you. Buildings around you have like some pieces of roof and there's no like siding per se, but like chunks of wood that would have made up decorative pieces of walls and like roofing and that sort of thing have been blown off and ripped around, sort of thing. Ripped off and blown around is what I meant to say. No structures are like completely collapsed, other than the one at least that you were inside when the water elementals smashed into it. But there is notable damage to the buildings and established roads and area immediately around you.
I will take note of that and I will pass that along when I get back upstairs.
Okay. Did you say you were going for food?
Yes, I wanted to. Either I'll wave down. The woman who owns the place, or the girl who was freaked out by us, or was freaked out when we walked in. Whichever one I see first.
What was the? Yeah, she would be. Both of them would be there.
Say.
But the one you'd see first is the owner's wife. What's her name?
Yes, I don't remember, but it's in there.
Kaylisa.
Kaylisa, yeah.
Kaylisa, there.
I'll wave her down first.
Okay.
Hi, I was just hoping to get some breakfast and stuff for the posse upstairs because it has been wacky.
Oh, you and me both, honey. What a storm.
I know, it was bonkers. I've never seen it rain so much so fast.
It's been a while for me, but holy cow,
Ooh.
that was kind of violent. I was starting to worry for the structure. Were you guys okay upstairs? Anything broken in that we should take care of?
Oh no, everything upstairs is fine. You're doing a lovely job. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. What can we make for you this morning?
I don't know, just some English breakfasts. Well, I mean, obviously it was like we had a hard night. Just like trying to get everything safe and stuff. So just a couple of big breakfasts, maybe some, I don't know, mimosas. I don't know what. Like a nice chill morning drink. Maybe just some like
mimosas.
Yeah. Maybe just some tomato juice. Yeah.
Oh, we have a very special brew that the Helmet High Sun has been working on. I would love to have you guys try that out. Be the first ones to try it out. What do you think?
I'm always down to try something new. In case that's not clear. Do I remember you saying that you're a bit of a gossip?
Dish.
Okay, so here's the thing. I practiced this like 2 days ago at work on accident. We're gonna see if this works.
Oh my god.
There's this guy that I was seeing for a while, and he's like really great. He's just vaguely human looking. You know how humans are. and we had like a lovely time in Waterdeep for a while, and everything was fine. And then he just ditched me with a whole bunch of my money. And I was hoping that if you happened to see him or any of his buddies around, you would let me know. They always wear these ugly brown cavalier boots. And I've talked to him about it like multiple times, and they're just the ugliest boots. But if you see anyone, they all wear matching boots. It's like some fucking club. So weird. And his name is Skip because he loves Skip in town, but he always calls himself something else. So I have no idea what he's gonna say his name is. Anyway, if you see anyone like that,
is this
let me
something
know.
that you, the player, have sent me?
No, it's fully not. I literally came up with it at work 2 days ago. I was like, yeah, it has nothing to do with anybody. It's literally just me trying to get at the boots.
Oh, okay.
It's literally just about the boots.
You got me thinking I gotta impersonate another famous person that I'm gonna botch.
It's literally just, I know she's a gossip. If I feed her gossip, I can find out about the boots.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So good.
Yeah.
Got
Oh
it.
my gosh,
My heart is beating so fast.
I knew exactly where she was going with it. I was like,
Okay,
oh,
so
man.
Skip might call
Yes.
himself something else.
Probably calls himself something else.
Emphasis on the boots.
Emphasis on the ugly boots. Ugly, brown, lace up the back for reasons. Cavalier boots. Like, come on, who wears those, right?
I know, honey. I can't say I've seen them before, but believe me,
Great.
I will let you know if I do.
You are a gem. Now, hey, the next time I'm in town, I am playing you guys a whole heckin' concert, and you're gonna have so many people in here.
We always do when you do. What would that be? The 4th time now? You've been so good
I don't
to
think
us.
I've ever actually played in here yet.
I thought you did like several times. Oh
Yeah.
no, it's been other places.
No, it's only been once. So there was the one time that like all of us chipped in and did stuff to make it sound better, but all the other times it's been somewhere else.
That
Okay.
was the first time we came to Red Larch
So
too.
rewind,
Yes.
and she'll say, "Well, when you did that before, we had plenty of business, and it helped us out a lot. So anytime, honey."
Awesome. You are my favorite.
She's gonna immediately like, she perks up and immediately like wisps off to the back to start whipping food up. In 10 minutes, honey. 10 minutes.
I'll be right here.
All right, so hustle and bustle is happening downstairs. Everybody upstairs, are you trying to talk about anything during the time that Whirl's working on getting breakfast and drinks up to you guys?
Where are we going, guys? I'm still really tired. Where do you think we should go next?
I mean, did we have plans on going back to the looks up notes, the water place?
Riverguard Keep.
Yeah, Riverguard. Did we want to go back there?
Well, since we found out that that those underground tunnels from the keeps that we have found are probably connected.
So we could probably go to Feathergale because it's closer.
But what about?
Annie, I'm gonna look at this map real quick because I did have to correct travel time recently because you have mounts. Riverguard and Sacred Stone you can make it to in a day. Feathergale would take, rounding, half a day. And Scarlet Moon would take 3/4. I don't know if I really want to... If that much detail would necessarily matter. But everything, all 4, you could get to in a day or less. If you went straight there.
Okay.
I suppose if we're assuming that alcove across that valley from Feathergale is their entrance to the tunnels, I suppose that would probably be our safest option. considering it would be the fastest, and as far as we know, nobody's there. Also, we should probably tell Renwick that people are going to be snooping through the tunnels.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. Can you send him a message or something?
I was
so
waiting
sorry.
I was waiting to see if you were gonna bust out. Oh, I can just talk.
I can try
Yeah.
and send him a message, but
A
he's
message.
not within like 100 feet of me, so I can't do it.
Okay.
I can
Yeah,
also now send
I'll
things
go.
messages.
I'll do it. Don't worry. Okay. So casting sending to Renwick. This is all. I'm gonna say it really quietly so everyone knows what what's gonna get said, but I don't want anyone, the drow, the dwarves, or the constable to hear it. So, we will be investigating the tunnels today. If there is a lot of noise, please be cautious. We have allies. Don't kill us. That'll be the 25. We don't want to change it.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Not that I'm there, but I think that's perfect.
Okay. I should have been typing that out. God.
We've
got
We're
a mod,
exploring the
it's
tunnels
okay.
today. It's us. Don't kill us.
That was
That's the vibe,
just,
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
We are exploring the tunnels today.
I'll put that in character. Should I put that in character talk or lore? It's somewhere in the middle. Where is that?
Character talk is fine.
Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can I spell? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 17. Okay, we will be exploring the tunnels today. Please be cautious if you hear noise. We have allies, please don't kill us. And I believe I have some left over. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I have 3 words left. Love you,
miss
bye.
you. Yeah, he says hi.
We miss you.
We miss you.
We miss you.
Is says hi.
Hell
Are you
yeah.
pooping?
You pooping?
Don't fuck us. That's my other favorite one.
Everyone says hi. That'll be the last. Those will be the last 3. Okay. Boop, right there. Message to Renwick. I get so tense over sending.
So sorry. Oh no.
You'll get a response rather quickly, and his tone is actually pretty stern. be careful. I sense dark powers below.
Ooh.
River Guard is also compromised,
Ooh.
as was Sacred Stone.
Shit.
Yeah, I'll quietly repeat that to everyone upstairs. Yeah, I guess River Garden probably wasn't the best place to go. Let's I think we're gonna have a long day ahead of us.
Oh god.
I
I'm
really
ready.
want breakfast.
Breakfast is a great idea.
I'll start shimmying back up with my tray of breakfasts and whatever this cocktail situation is.
Okay.
Oh. Devouring breakfast. No crumb left behind. It's all getting eaten.
Okay. So you all go for breakfast and the beverages that have been provided. Whirl, you've been informed that these came from the Helmet High Sun, yeah?
Yes. Do I know what that is?
Yeah, it was the inn/ale house. I think you guys like passed by the sign and caught the name
Okay.
at one point. You never actually like went in or anything. Everybody make a Constitution save.
I know.
Oh no.
Oh god.
I hope
Let's
it's just.
go.
I hope it's just drunk and not we're dying. 16.
Where'd she
Oh
go?
no.
Oh wait, it's a
Oh,
Constitution save.
A plus zeros. Let's go, boys.
Hell yeah. We're all in the teens.
We're okay. Hopefully.
I'm missing one. Who am I missing?
It's
Cal.
me.
Oh, okay.
It's been a while, so I've got to check the thing that I have. That's Dex, not Constitution. Okay, just wanted to check that.
I'm glad I added that one to my Constitution. Ooh, we all hit teens,
14.
gang.
Hey, nobody
Yeah.
That's the
rolled
most
terrible.
even we've ever been.
It's very good.
That's pretty average.
That's very close. So all of you, to varying degrees, feel a little like woozy. After snarfing down breakfast and your drinks and everything, you feel a little woozy. Gert, you fall to the floor at one point.
God bless
Like
America.
you just blink out for just a minute and fall to the floor. You do wake up and you're like, what the hell just happened? And you're like out of it for a minute, but that's not normal.
Is it? Does it feel drunk woozy or like extra woozy?
Yeah, does it look like she's poisoned?
All of you make a nature check.
Okay.
Oh
Yes.
god damn it. Okay.
More plus zero.
Sorry, medicine check, not
No.
nature, medicine.
Oh, I got an 18 nature. No.
Cal, because you clicked it before I gave you that
no.
number, you can just take your medicine modifier and put it to
no.
that 17.
Well, oh,
Okay.
well, I got an 18 on
I have no
both.
idea.
So. Wow.
So what is your medicine modifier, Cal?
It would end up being a 16.
Okay.
Got a 19.
Is you're like thrown off by the whole thing? What the hell just happened?
Absolutely.
The rest of you are like, somebody just tried poisoning us.
I'm checking on Gerd. Is she okay? Is she like?
After that brief blip out, it looks like she's okay. Gert, you're not actually suffering any effects after that moment.
So,
Hey, look at that! Another door just opened. Where
Yeah,
do we want to go, guys?
wait, hold on. Who's working today?
Both Kalissa and the chick that was freaked out by us. I didn't see anyone else.
Was there someone cooking?
I didn't ask, but probably. Where was that
Where
inn
did you get? Yeah. Okay.
that she said the booze was from? Because I personally don't remember hearing it, but World might.
From the helmet guy?
The Iron
Helm at High Sun.
Right.
Helmet guy, sorry.
Helmet guy. I'm not incorrect.
Helmet guy.
Okay.
Helmet guy that sells helmets and poison alcohol.
Oh, I'm on the wrong map. You guys are on the right map. I am not. Oh, it's across the street.
There's another inn?
Yeah.
It's a brewer. Oh what?
Oh, what?
It's Trade Town. Multiple inns.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
True.
Wait, so which one? What's
Number
the...
3.
Number 3 is where the
Helmet.
booze came from.
Oh.
Do we want to go in? I have so many questions.
What's a more immediate threat? A failed poisoning, or the elementals coming.
I mean,
after?
literally everything is an immediate threat. I would love to take a
But-
week to like not run everywhere, but everything's an immediate threat.
But I think the most immediate threat is to let what's her butt know not to serve that right now.
It's a good call.
Like,
You're coming with me.
yeah. Yeah, let's go.
All right. We're gonna march our woozy asses back downstairs.
So yeah, I head over and what was her name again? Kalisa?
Alyssa, yeah.
Kalisa. Hey, Kalisa. Maybe not serve the new booze to anybody else quite yet.
Oh, why ever not? That's a new shipment. It's supposed to be wonderful. Has it gone sour already?
Poison?
Did you say it may be poison?
Excuse me?
Sour poison, you know. They're interchangeable sometimes, right?
Yeah, my friend here just fully passed out, and she
I
doesn't know
got-
how to pass outer.
I got really
Are you serious?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, may I have? Would you mind if I just bring the crate out and may I have just a glass from the crate?
Of course. And she'll run to the back and bring out like a small wheel cart, like equivalent of a dolly, containing a barrel of this substance.
So it's a full-on barrel of it.
Yeah.
Like a keg of. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so like the top of it, it has been removed. She would have removed the top, and so it's like just open faced barrel, and she'll just take like a tankard, dip it in, and she'll like give it a whiff herself. She's got this very concerned look on her face, and hand it to you, and then she'll actually take another and dip it in and start to tip it to her own mouth.
Wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
Let him do it.
Please.
He's
You're
beefier.
very serious.
Very
Yeah.
serious.
He's a big boy, and I've got some stuff that I can use to help him if things go south. So, I would rather it be him than you.
Would you please come with me to the back? And she'd like gesture to like a few patrons around the room that are just kind of enjoying their meal and everything, and just
Okay, I
Shimmy to
follow.
the back. Mhm.
and she'll just start wheeling the cart with the barrel back to the back, and a couple of cooks and food preps she'll wave off into a sort of back room, and then like turn to you with the swinging doors closed behind you now, and just hands on her hips, give you this look of concern, like, you sure you're okay?
Do you have reason to believe we're not okay?
Well, you're telling me that I have a new drink that I'm supposed to promote and it's supposed to be wonderful to all of my customers, and you believe it's poisoned. I'm very concerned about that.
Well, generally, we believe that something that we just consumed was poisoned. And we appreciate the generosity that you have given us so far and trust that you were not the one attempting to do so, which is why we
Well,
didn't
I assure
drink the
you
food.
I am not.
So, since this is the first time that anyone is trying this new drink, that's the first place we'd like to think about.
Okay. Okay. Well then, let's figure this out then.
And Cal, if things go awry, I have something that can absolutely help you.
I mean, can I take just, can I sort of look at the tankard first? Because we did, I mean, you know, we're doing the whole sniff tests and sight test first.
Mm-hmm.
Do I notice anything off about either the tankard or from the barrel?
You can make a... So I'm lowering the DC now for finding things out, since you're making a new attempt at it. This is going to be a survival check.
Okay. $14.
The liquid itself is going to have just the faintest, like, off-floral potency to it. That it's not familiar to you, and you've smelled and tasted and experienced different types of ale and wine and different drinks of those variety that would typically be found in inns, taverns, that sort of thing. There's just something kind of off about this one. You can just faintly smell it.
Yes, I've had a fair bit of drink in my time, and I know this is supposed to be some sort of new product, but even for a new product, there is something odd. And I'm gonna take a swig.
I'm gonna be ready to catch him. It's not gonna work, but I'm gonna be ready to catch him.
I'm imagining like Big Cal and then like little whirls like.
Yeah. I got you, buddy.
So Cal, you're gonna need to make a Constitution save. After a few seconds, something kind of hits you, and it's clearly far more abrupt than any, even like the stronger of alcoholic beverages that you might have partaken in before.
Oh, yep, there it is. Neat.
Okay, you like stumble for a
You rolled a
moment
3.
and then fall flat on the ground.
I cast Lesser Restoration.
Okay.
Well, I can just remove poison. There you go.
Exactly.
Okay.
And he's fine.
Do I have to dive out of the way?
Cal, did you have a question about?
No, like, but nobody knows what it is. So
You having experienced it now, like, can reasonably conclude that it has been intentionally poisoned. It is a weak poison, but it's definitely been poisoned.
okay, but not to meta too much, but like I'm a pretty big boy too. So like would I have I have felt it, but would it have been enough? What did I feel poisoned after consuming that?
You mean like a lingering effect?
I mean, yeah, like
No.
okay.
That's why you can tell it was like diluted, weak.
Okay. Yeah, I'll sit up a little bit and I'm still like a little cross-eyed. And I'm just gonna like belch a little bit.
Kaylessa is gonna look horrified, and then in the next few seconds, furious. And she'll like take one tankard, fill it up, slam it on the counter, and then dump the entire barrel toward this like offshoot drainage area, for lack of a better term, that like clearly other like water and liquid and other discarded material is like off in this corner of the kitchen that just sort of runs to the outside. She just like throws the barrel there and says, I need to have words with Justran.
Sorry, what was that name? And can you spell it?
Justran, Justran.
Just ran.
Just ran.
Pretty tired.
Well, now here's well, okay, because I would. This is sort of more of a atmospheric question then.
Mm-hmm.
So the keg. Okay, I'm gonna ask the question and then we'll decide if it's in character or out of character.
Sure.
How are kegs like this? How are they usually distributed? Do they have a spout, or is it really like crack open the top and then dip with a ladle and
So
pass it around?
yeah, that's a good question. So normally what would happen is, and you'd see this in the kitchen, like barrels are sitting up on a sort of like torso level counter, like just like any other countertop or table, and then like a pre-made cork hole
Right.
near the bottom. So there's no like pumping system technology. There's just this wooden barrel, and then they let gravity do the work. They do have sort of I don't really know what to call it other than a tap, like a spout that can, with a small lever to plug itself open, liquid pours out, close, it stops. And this barrel is no different than any of the others in that regard. Does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay.
Was this where we were served out of previously? Do you have any other barrels?
This is the only one, and it came just yesterday before the storm.
Intriguing.
Justron has been on and on for days about his new brews and how great they may be.
Is it common to, I suppose, release the top as you did? Like the top of the barrel?
Oh yes,
Are
that
you
was
trying to?
that was just so I don't have to tip the tankard on the floor. And she'd indicate, that the cart's actually very low to the floor, and even with that, the spout only ends up a few inches off of the floor itself.
Had you Generally, for something like that, you would want to bring it back to a fairly good seal. Did it seem like anyone had opened the barrel before, or was it still sort of sealed up tight when you opened it up just now?
It was sealed just as the others, as is the custom of Just Strang's practice, and he supplies us regularly.
Okay. Well, pardon, I just needed to confirm as to whether or not we should be concerned that the poison that's excuse me, the poison that's in here is indeed from the brewery, or if it would be someone with nefarious plans within the inn itself. I just
Well,
needed to confirm that.
I will keep that here long enough for you to figure out what you need to figure out, or you can take it with you for all I care, but I took that out just in case you might need it.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to I'm gonna dump out my water skin,
Oh.
Oh boy.
and I'm
We got
gonna
poison here.
I'm gonna put the the poison ale, the poison brew, into the water skin.
Okay.
Sick.
And well, thank you. And actually, I'm going to I'll still throw down. You know what? I'm gonna throw down 10 silver.
Oh, to her?
To her,
Okay.
and say, I understand it's not much. It may not make up for the cost of the ruined product here, but I hope it's at least something that will help offset some of the costs.
Well, that's too generous of you. I assure you that you pointing this out to me and making sure that I don't have more dire consequences to more and other customers is payment enough, but this is very generous of you. And she's got this weird, crazy mix of like clearly trying to be generous and forthright with you guys, but fucking pissed at the same time. And as she finishes saying that, she's gonna go to like each barrel that's up on. She's got like a couple of long counterways of barrels, and look at each one. And then she like takes one and just smashes it on the ground. And then like goes and gets a broom and just starts sweeping the liquid toward this sort of like discard drainage area. And then finds the next one, smashes it on the ground and starts sweeping it away. Like she's clearly getting rid of certain ones and leaving other ones alone.
Does this behavior look like justified, or does it look out of place for a reaction?
It's a pretty broad question. Can you be more specific, like what you're trying to get insight on?
So because of like what I've heard from and Gert and Cal about like people acting weird when things happen. I want to know if this is a like, I hear there's a bad, like, I want to know if she's like truly worried about her customer base, or if she's like, if it's like a ruse.
Like,
Oh,
if
okay,
she's afraid of being punished, kind
Insight
of thing,
check.
or failing.
Insight check, yeah.
I'm working on it. Gotta make extra clicks tonight.
Hey, I think they found out the ale was poison. That's a pretty loud ruckus downstairs.
Okay.
14.
You've had a few interactions with this woman before, especially you, Whirl, and you actually have a pretty good read on her. She's a pretty simple person. She's a gossip. She's trying to do well with her business, and being happy and making people happy, all that sort of envelopment of a person who's actually passionate about being of service.
Cool.
And this reaction is like you're confident that this is like an emotional but logically based reaction to get rid of everything that came from there just in case.
Cool.
Well, before we head off too far, I suppose we might need to resolve this inventory issue, so others do not fall to the same fate.
Yes, that would be lovely. I would very much enjoy not being the center of a murder case. So why don't I tend to my kitchen and my customers so that I don't murder somebody, and hopefully for you, later tonight the drinks will be on me and they will not be coming from there.
Can Gert give her a hug?
I knew that was coming and I loved it.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
fantastic.
Gert can
gives
absolutely
her
give her a hug.
Gert gives her a
Do you
hug.
need bardic inspiration on that?
Yeah, because, you know, it's not anything magical calming, but it's just sometimes calming.
Interpersonal interaction is a real
pretty
thing.
magical.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just going to give her a hug and say, it's okay. Everything's going to work out.
Just Randale, Helmet High Sun. I would certainly hope this is a misunderstanding because his supply has been fantastic. But if it's not, and she's just gonna like stop talking and walk away, or start walking away.
Anyway. Well, one more question. When did you say you got the barrel?
Just before the storm, yesterday.
Okay. And by the
With
time...
his normal shipments, but he made sure to point this one out to me as
Okay.
new and exciting.
I mean, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just...
I got so excited that my heart almost stopped.
I was real excited.
Okay. Out of character, I'm just trying to figure out why it took her until this morning to serve anybody.
Because she said it was
But
just
she said-
before the storm and they were repairing the
And,
leaking
yeah.
lines,
Yeah.
so they-
Yeah. So it was one of those things where they weren't serving anybody. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Right.
great. Okay. Cool.
my God.
So many options.
I love these small cases where it's easy to figure out where the source is, but you don't know who did it. That's a lot more easy to do than where and who. Oh my gosh.
All right. So let's head over to. Should we grab the rest of the group and head over to chat with these folks across the street? Cool.
Yeah, probably. Do we all five of us want to go over there, or is that suspicious?
I mean, whatever they want to do, they can do too. I
Fair.
just figured we should at least let them know what we're doing.
That's fair. Well, let's go upstairs and at least explain what happened, and then figure out what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Tight. Go back upstairs.
Yeah, we go upstairs and I say, Cal almost died, but I saved his life, so now we're
That's
gonna head
kind of a
over.
big thing.
Wait, what? We're gonna just glance over that part?
Yeah, so it's like hella poisoned.
Yeah.
Oh,
Was-
He fell down.
Was it our
Cal
Oh.
fell down.
Cal
He fell
fell
down.
down.
Cal fell
Fell
down?
down.
It was. Was it just the cup, like our cups that were poisoned, or was it the barrel?
No,
The
it's
barrel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
She took a fresh scoop from
yeah.
the barrel.
wow.
Yeah. So she's real cranky, and has proceeded to get rid of uh, every keg from the guys across the street so far. Uh, so we figured we would pop over and have a little chat with them. We weren't sure if you guys wanted to come or if it would be smarter to just have a smaller group.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that everyone knows who we are now.
Yeah.
Everyone has an idea that we're not normal people,
Yeah.
either physically or in our abilities. And I think it's a completely different situation if an entire barrel is poisoned rather than cups that were meant to target us.
Yeah.
So I would love to assist in the investigation.
Sure. All right.
Karen's having like an angry twitch.
All right, then let's head over and talk to this guy about poison.
Talk about some poison.
So-
We're gonna see a guy about some poison.
We're gonna see a guy
We're
about some
gonna
poison.
see a guy about some poison. Cal, did you by chance discern what kind of poison, like where the source would have come from?
It was sort of a floral
Afterbirth.
aftertaste, kind of. Not sure. It wasn't quite strong, but very fast acting.
Does anybody know of any poisonous plants? Do we know of poisonous plants, dear?
I mean,
I don't know, but if
Kind
I
of a
make a nature
stretch.
check, I might have
Wait
a
a
good
minute,
can all make a
shot.
survival.
I
Wait,
have. I was gonna say
knows
I've
what-
got a survival. I've got a pretty high survival
You're-
and.
You do
entire-
also have a history of at least identifying some raw ingredients that
Yeah.
are poisonous.
Like
So-
that's in my background.
Yep.
I'm really good at nature because I grew up on a farm.
It's still gonna be survival.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big money, no whammy.
Can I?
Oh shit!
Never mind.
Oh!
Sorry.
Jesus. All right, cool. That's a big number.
That's above a 20.
So,
Okay.
That's
It's fine, I guess.
I like that
what
over
were you
there.
what were you trying to glean from? Like, what type of poison?
Yeah, if we would be able to figure out what might have been the thing used to poison.
Okay. Certain fruits. For your 22, certain fruits you know and have experienced. It's actually written in your backstory. You know would be risk of death at least upon consumption, like within seconds to minutes.
Cool.
And the fact that he like just passed out, and the fact that just briefly passed out.
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah.
Okay, so even better. So like you just briefly just like blacked out, but then were immediately out of it. Would tell you that like for whatever reason this was like an insta-kill type of poison, but it was diluted. Obviously, it'd be kind of nearly impossible to tell why it was diluted, other than two main possibilities. Maybe it was an accident, like they didn't get the formula right kind of thing, or proportions right to actually make it lethal, or it was they're trying something they haven't done before and just really didn't know how to make it right.
So it was clearly supposed to be insta-kill that didn't
Or-
go right, as opposed to like it's supposed to be a slow burn.
That's another possibility. Like maybe they
Okay.
took some sort of formula that they knew was intended to be death and diluted it on purpose to make it more drawn out or not quite
Maybe.
kill you,
Sure.
but maybe knock you guys out, sort of thing, or whoever consumed it
Maybe.
out.
Right.
Maybe they were
Yeah.
trying to capture us by
I mean,
immobilizing us.
could this have also been just a honest mistake of like, oh, I want to make this ale taste different, and so they find this other type of stuff, and the sheer fact that like it is diluted in everything that the ale is.
With a 22, you may honestly think about that for a minute, but then you'd think back to how highly regarded, even just Kaylessa, like super highly regarded this brewer until
Yeah.
the
Right.
point that like she just witnessed that it was actually poisoned.
Mm-hmm.
Such a highly regarded ale maker would not make such a mistake.
Would not make the mistake. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Then let's head over.
Do you
Need to
have
speak to
some
the manager.
drinks prepared?
Yeah. My Karen haircut on. Let's go.
Excuse me, I'd like to speak to your manager.
Okay, so this
Beyonce
is
went
a
into Karen.
it's just like
Yeah.
this is a good point to take another brief break if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.